Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Road to Rotation. So you can probably hear in my voice a little bit that I am just getting over a cold, so forgive me for a little bit of a shaky voice during today's episode. But today we are going over OP04 leader Nefeltari Vivi. She's a 5,000 power 5 life leader that is red and blue. And she has this leader cannot attack. That's why she's allowed to be a 5 life leader with 2 colors. And then she has activate main. Once per turn, you can pay 2 and draw 1 card, and then up to one of your characters gains rush during this turn. So pretty effective at making up for the fact that it can't attack by giving your characters rush, letting them do the attacking for you. The big downside to that being that you have to defend your characters then. And you can't take life as freely as you would with some other leaders because your opponents will more likely have stuff to swing at. But that isn't an insurmountable downside to this leader. Actually, when this leader first came out, I did end up winning, I think, 2 locals using a package that I'll touch on when I get to it. But I was able to win a couple locals. Power level was obviously different then, and our locals has always been a little more casual than some. But I do think that there is a fair bit of power in this deck if you can find the right mix of cards. So, like I usually do with these leaders, I'll first go over her main archetype, which is Alabasta. In OP13, she actually got a new searcher for that archetype. One costs 2,000 power, top 4 searcher for either Alabasta or Straw Hat type, crew type, with a cost of 2 or more. So one of the new styles of searchers we have here. This is pretty solid. Also, Straw Hat crew being one of the more flexible typings means you can get a whole lot off of this. But otherwise, just a strong searcher. Next up, we have Terracotta. This one's from OP04. She's a 2-cost, 0 power, 2K counter with activate main. You may rest this character and trash 1 card from your hand. Up to one of your Alabasta type characters gains unblockable during this turn. So this one can be really important, just being a 2K at its base, but also being a way to give access to unblockable, which not every deck has. So it's really important to be able to have these style effects. After that, we have a very old card here at OP04. Igarum. This is the searcher for Alabasta from the first set, and it also kind of leads into some of the original theming with the Alabasta cards. It's a 2-cost 3K power with 1K counter and activate main. You may rest this character and give your active leader minus 5,000 power during this turn. So that's kind of the theme with the original Alabasta cards, is you could give your leader a debuff if they were active and get some effect out of it. And because your leader couldn't attack anyways, it made it to where these cards could really only fit in Vivi, and made it kind of unique for her. But then after that, it was just a basic top 5 searcher for Alabasta, and a pretty interesting card past that. After that, we have from OP02, 3-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter. On play, if your leader is multicolored and you have 5 or less cards in hand, draw 2. So this is a really great card to pair with cards that bounce your own cards, and just a really good card advantage engine. It's not as frequent with this leader that you will have a lower hand size, but if you're countering really aggressively, you can pretty easily make this work in a way that works out pretty nicely. After that, we have Igarum from OP04 this time. It's a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter with on play, if your leader is Vivi, draw 2 cards and trash 1 from your hand. So it's card neutral when you play it. And it also has activate main. Once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand, give up to 1 rested on card to your leader or one of your characters. This will be pretty important because we'll find in some of our later sections that a lot of times you need to have a Dawn on one of your characters to get the most out of their effects. So having Distortive effect is really important for the deck, and the Treasure card is not too expensive of a cost because your leader is constantly drawing cards with leader ability. After that, we have another EB03 card this time, 5 cost, 7,000 power, no counter, Nami. With on play, you may give your active leader minus 5,000 power during this turn and draw 1 card. And then activate main once per turn. If your leader has the Alabasta type, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. This ability, while it seems small, is actually really helpful on a character that can be given a rush, meaning you can pretty aggressively clear your opponent's board with a body like this because it's got a good vanilla stat line, making it quite effective at going in at other characters on curve pretty well. And then that even still works with the 2 cost that you have to pay for this, meaning that this gets to be kind of a rushing body on curve that also draws a card, which is pretty good. After that, we have the 5 cost Vivi from EB03. It's a 5 cost 4,000 power 1k counter with blocker. And on play up to 1 Straw Hat Crew or Alabasta type character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. Then you cannot play character cards during this turn. So an interesting kind of restriction here, but a lot of times in this leader, or as we'll see and we'll go over at the end, the new Vivi leader also gets to take advantage of some of this space, oftentimes playing out your bodies, giving something rush, and then going heavy with your Dawn into your opponents. So another nice one, and being able to play out a another 5 costs means you're getting a whole lot of value out of this, potentially several blockers and some rushing bodies with your Vivi. After that, we have Chaka. This one's from OP05. It's a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter with Dawn times 1, activate main once per turn, give up to 2 Rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. Again, emphasizing that there are a lot of abilities, this included, that need you to have your Dawn attached to get the most value out of them, and he works quite well in that thing while also being in the Alabasta type. So it's searchable by all the same searchers. After that, we have from EB04, the 7 cost 4,000 power 1k counter Vivi with on play up to 1 Alabasta type character card with a cost of 8 or less other than Nefeltari Vivi from your hand. Then your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of their deck. So a little bit of hand hate, and you get to play out another body, usually a little bit cheaper, on top of having another 4k character on the board. So you're getting quite a bit of value out of this, and also the hand hate on your opponent. After that, we have from EB04 the 8 cost 9,000 power Chaka and Pel. This is a 0 counter card with double attack, which is great, a great sort of ability to have when you're being given rush by your leader. And then it also has on play, you can give your active leader minus 5,000 power during this turn to draw 2 cards. So in the highest of high rolly style plays, you on 9 Dawn play out your Vivi, who plays out Chaka and Pel. Vivi will put them down a card. You can use the on play from this to target your leader, putting you down to 0 leader, but you can't attack anyways, to draw 2 cards. Then use 2 Dawn to give this rush, giving you a net of plus drawing 3 cards at the cost of 2 cards. And you get a 9k rushing double attacker after you've stolen a card from their hand. So this is a whole lot of pressure you can place out off of this ability, making for some pretty dramatic plays that you could do with this leader. After that, we have the EB03 event, but if we ever see each other again, will you still call me your shipmate? Which is a counter event with, if your leader is Vivi, up to one of your leader or characters gains 4,000 power during this battle, which is really nice. Something that is unique to this leader and the new leader, who we'll go over in the end. This one also has a trigger of give up to one of your opponent's character cards minus 2,000 power during this turn. So these are the first bit of Alabasta cards that I wanted to highlight. Some of the other ones will fit into the next category we have, which is when attacking abilities. So one of the things that works really nice is if you can attack right away, these when attacking abilities no longer become kind of gated behind waiting a turn, um, letting you take a lot of advantage of that rush by also getting some extra value. First one we have up here is from OP04. It's just a 2k counter mostly, but it does have a when attacking ability, letting it become a vanilla attacker on the turn that it comes down as a 2k, which is a pretty nice upside. One of the things I found when I was playing the deck way back when is one of the best things that you could do is just play out vanilla bodies with rush, and you would be above curve on most opponents and would be able to really pressure them effectively, even though you were unable to maybe swing with your leader, I should say. So don't underestimate cards like this. They can be quite useful, these vanilla attackers. And because this gains it till the beginning of your next turn, it is a vanilla on defense too. Next up, another card from OP04. We have Chaka. 3 cost 5,000 power, again with that vanilla body. No counter out this time, but Dawn times 1 when attacking. If your leader is Vivi, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 0 power or less. So this was one of the powerhouses in the deck. Was very important at the time. I think it's probably been power crept mostly now because a 5 Dawn 5,000 power KO a 3,000 power is not super strong, but it works super nicely when you can combo them together with other ones or other styles of effects. You can end up doing quite a bit of damage with these things that is hard for your opponent to play around because it comes out with rush. After that, we have from OP05 the 3 cost 4,000 power 1k counter Pell. With Dawn times 1 when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Again, a great card to pair with this Chaka here. Again, at the cost, though, of a Dawn attached. Making for some pretty strong synergies. Being able to KO 5,000 power is getting up there a lot more. So another Alabasta card. Let me see. One more Alabasta card I definitely want to call out, though, is Pell. This one's also from OP04. 5 cost 6,000 power. No counter with Dawn times 1 when attacking. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. So you can see there was a lot of KOing your opponent's guys or giving them minus power, making them easier to swing into. So you wanted to frequently use your bodies to help keep their board clear so that they wouldn't be able to swing into your leader, and then eventually amass enough characters to start going at life afterwards. Next up, we have a different one that is a little less on theme with the other ones. We have Shariah here. He's a 3 cost 4,000 power 1k counter with blocker. And when attacking or on block once per turn, this character's base power becomes the same as your opponent's leader until the start of your next turn. When I was playing this one last, it was really important to use this against stuff like Black Yellow Luffy, who would go to 9k power and would be really useful now against stuff like Ace and against stuff like Roger, who goes to really high power. This allows you to swing into it with just 5 Dawn. Doesn't matter how big their guy is, you will always be able to swing into it and will always be at least on par. And then if you have any Dawn attached, you can get above them pretty reasonably. It's also a great blocker, allowing you to block out of leader swings very easily, making them down to just a single 1k counter out of any leader swing, which is a great place to be. After that, we have 2020 Chopper. This one is one that a lot of people were excited about when it came out for Vivi, but I don't think it materialized too much. It's 3 cost 5,000 power, no counter. With your turn, both on play and when attacking, look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck and play one animal type character with a cost or with 4,000 power or less rested, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So at 5 Dawn, you could activate this search ability twice, getting you 3 attackers potentially out of 5 Dawn, which was actually pretty nice. And there was even a couple Alabasta type animals that fit pretty nicely in the deck as well, making it a pretty synergistic little package. After that, we have from OP01 this Brook, one that I used to great effect when I was playing the deck. 4 cost 5,000 power, 1k counter, Dawn times 1 when attacking. Give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. It was really effective at really keeping your opponent's board clear by letting you swing into multiple different bodies with both Brook and whatever else you had on board. And they would be smaller, making it quite effective. After that, we have one that is a little more niche. We have Karasu. This usually only sees play in Revolutionary Army type leaders, but Vivi here is one of the types of, or one of the leaders who can take advantage of the minus 1k to a leader right away at the cost of 6 Dawn, and then getting him up to 7k, which would be a 8 Dawn. If you have enough of a board, this can be really potent at giving your board an extra 1k effectively, which is quite strong. After that, we have a newer one here from OP10. We have the 4 cost 6,000 power, no counter Cavendish. With when attacking once per turn, draw 2 cards and trash 1 from your turn, from your hand, making this on net a +1 to your hand the turn you play it if you have 6 Dawn available for it, and you get a 6k swing, which is quite nice. Not a whole lot else to say about this one. It's just a pretty solid character if you can give it rush. After that, we have Pell, 5 cost 6,000 power. We already talked about Pell. Moving on to the next one, we have Yasop, 5 cost 6,000 power, 1k counter this time. With on play, up to one of your leaders gains 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn, which is great for defense. Then Dawn times 1 when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. Comboing well with Chakas, Pells, Brooks, and other cards, making you quite effective at reducing their leaders. The next one here we have is a Straw Hat Crew one, and this was actually the key to my wins when I was playing the deck. We have this Impel Down Luffy, 6 cost, 7,000 power, no counter, with on play, and when attacking, you may trash 2 cards from your hand, return up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to their owner's hand, then this character gains double attack during this turn. At 8 Dawn, you could discard 2 cards to bounce a blocker, then swing, discard 2 more cards to bounce a second attacker, and get in with a double attacker at that point after you've bounced 2 of their guys, giving you a lot of tempo advantage, potentially a lot of eating through blockers, and having a little bit of Dawn left even to add more to this Luffy. This was super important in the games that I did win. On to the next one. This one we'll recognize from Red Sanji style stuff. It works similarly here. 6 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter, Dawn times 1 when attacking. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Then this character gains 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn, making this a vanilla body that also shrinks one of your opponent's guys by -2. Making it just a rather annoying and strong card to get through. A little less effective than in Sanji, because you have to wait a little bit longer, but still quite strong. After that, we have a promo card here. The 6 cost 7,000 power 1k counter Shanks with Dawn times 1 when attacking. You may trash 1 character card from your hand. Give up to one of your opponent's characters power minus 1,000 for the turn. Then draw a card. So this one is card neutral. With a minus 1k and a little less power than you would see maybe in Wapol, but it has more base power. So if you don't have access to the extra Dawn, you still are getting a bigger body instead of having to sap it from somebody else. Last one I wanted to go over in the win attacking category is this Trafalgar Law with 6 cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter with once per turn, if this character be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may give this character minus 2,000 power into this turn instead, and when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Also leading into the same theme that we have with our a lot of our other guys of shrinking our opponent's guys, making them easier to deal with, either through Chaka and Pell or just through attack. But he has the upside of also protecting himself from removal effects, which is quite useful. Moving on to our final category, we have cards that are just good on plays with other useful abilities. Because you get the on play right away, and then being able to give them rush also works quite nicely with these. And these are ones that you wouldn't be able to see in a Sanji deck, for example. Red Sanji, I should say. This first one we have is 4 cost 6,000 power, no counter. Edward Weevil with on play, draw 1 card. So he replaces himself even without your leader ability. And if you have your leader ability, you go card plus on him. And he's just a good vanilla attacker. All around a good guy for your decks. One I would definitely recommend running in the deck if you are still running this Vivi. After that, we have the Charlotte Pudding, just a classic blue card. Nothing necessarily special about giving it rush, but just a very strong card that you are definitely going to want to play. After that, we have Nami here, a blocker, 5 cost 6,000 power, 1k counter. With on play, if your leader is multicolored, draw 3 and place 2 from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. So just like with Weevil, you're getting a +1 to your hand size, while also getting, this case, a 6k blocker instead of a 6k attacker, which is all in all a pretty effective thing. After that, we have Yamato, who trades the blocker ability from Nami for 1 Rested Dawn to your leader, which can be mostly ignored here, but just having more access to card positive cards in your thing means you will have counter for days no matter what your opponent tries to put up, as long as they're not putting you, I guess. After that, we have from OP04, 6 cost 7,000 power, 1k counter, Marguerite. On play, return up to 1 character with a base cost of 7,000 power to its owner's hand. Just great tempo engine. This should hit pretty much anything your opponent plays on the turn before it. Or if you're giving it rush, you can still hit a lot of different things while also getting in a 7k attack and drawing a card, which is all in all a very effective thing. After that, we have Vanilla Body. This Boa Hancock from OP07 on play. Up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then place up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less at the bottom of his owner's deck. That mode probably won't make a big difference, but you might be able to snipe somebody's searcher, prevent them from being able to bounce it to something like the next card we're going to go over, but just kind of sniping away their resources. And the next one we have here is the Jozu. Perfect card for picking up that earlier Vivi we talked about here. It draws you some cards, and then you can play Jozu to pick it back up. You can even give Jozu Rush to give you a nice attacking body after bouncing their 6k body. All in all, a great card to have in the deck. After that, we have kind of an interesting one that hasn't seen too much play recently. This is the Promo 09, the 6 cost 7,000 power, no counter, Trafalgar Law. With on play, if your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, add up to one of your opponent's life cards to their hand, kind of punishing them for having a larger hand size, which is pretty frequent in the current state of the game. And then also you get to have a nice swinging 7k body at 8, making it pretty effective at getting through. After that, we have Oronorazoro here. The rush is a little less important on here, but he does have a nice attacking body. And if you do give him regular rush, then he'll be also able to swing at lead. But his on play here is up to one of your leaders and gains 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn, making a very defensive thing for a deck that already has, in general, a lot of cards. So great one to see here. It also has Activate Main if your opponent has a character with 8,000 power or more. This character gains rush for characters during the turn. There will be times where you don't want to give it rush with your leader ability because you don't have, or you want to play this out early maybe, and then you can still get a good swing out of it as long as they have something rested, which will be pretty frequently. After that, we have the 7-cost 7,000 power 1k counter, Ben Beckman, with on play, trash up to one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less. Great card, especially comboed with some of your other cards like Chaka, making for a lot of pressure on your opponent's characters by trashing them, which gets around a lot of different types of protection. After that, we have Kairos, 7-cost 9,000 power, no counter, so nice vanilla body, with on play return up to one character with a cost of 5 or less to its owner's hand. Another good tempo card, a little bit more effective as an attacker than Marguerite, but sometimes going to be a little bit weaker at getting rid of stuff from your opponent's board. That said, you also have the option here to go for a more expensive removal with the 7-cost 7,000 power Don Quixote del Flamingo, who has on play return up to one character with a cost of 7 or less to their owner's hand. These two being very similar, I probably would end up going with Kairos most often because a lot of the times you want to bounce blockers rather than larger stuff, although this sometimes does make an appearance and is definitely useful at times. After that, we have a really important one, I think, for the deck, which is the Silver's Rayleigh. 8-cost, 8,000 power, no counter. With on play, select up to 2 of your opponent's characters and give one character minus 3,000 and the other minus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. Another great card that combos with your other minus power costs or effects. Also, giving you a lot of defensive power by neutering potentially 2 of their attackers if you're not killing them outright with the Rayleigh ability. You can combo the minus 2,000 also with your Chakas to get a whole bunch of removal out of this. And being 8 cost means you still have room to play your leader ability and get an 8k swing at either their bodies or their face. Last one I wanted to call out just as an on-play that doesn't work as well with your leader ability because it's 10 cost is the Shanks. 10 cost, 12,000 power, no counter. With on-play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 10,000 power or less. Again, comboing nicely with all of your minus power costs, and then just being a good no questions asked answer to stuff. One more thing I want to go over before going over to sample deck list is the new Vivi, who's coming out in OP04, and that'll be at the end of this week when this releases. It is a 5,000 power 4 life this time, same colors, red and blue. With once per turn, if your character with a base cost of 4 or more would be KO'd, you may trash one card from your hand instead, giving it some protection rather than some card advantage. But it also has activate main. You may rest this leader, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn, then up to one of your characters without a when attacking effect gains rush during this turn. So similarly, giving rush, just limited to not stuff on this page here. And then giving your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power can also be great for dealing with a lot of your on-play stuff, like the Ben Beckman, like the Rayleigh, like the, what's it called? The Shanks. All nice synergies to go with this, although a little bit awkward with some of those because you won't be able to give those characters rush in addition to the what's it called, the KO ability. So you get to pick which part you're synergizing with, making it for a pretty interesting leader and actually pretty distinct from this Vivi, even though they both focus on the same colors, also counting on rush. This one has a little bit of card advantage, this one has a little bit of card protection, making it a very interesting kind of dynamic between the two. This is the leader I plan to do some trying and testing out with once OP03 does come out. But we'll see how hard it is to get those cards. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. But for now, let's go look at an example deck list for this OP04 Vivi, and I will jump over to the sim now. All right, so here with the sample deck list, just to start off, I'm going to be honest, I looked through all of the cards, like in context with each other, and the only win attacking character that made it through was Shariah. So I think that this list would just be better with the new Vivi coming out, which works because it means that this video is a little bit future-proofed for next set. But I'll just kind of go through it real briefly. This leader does give you card advantage, which fits really well into a more defensive plan relative to this Vivi. It's not a surefire way to make the deck better, playing it more defensively. Just pointing out that this Vivi is a little more defensive just by having more raw card quantity than this one is. So keep that in mind. If you switch to this one, you will run out of cards a little faster than when you're playing this one. So just going over quickly the deck, we have our 2Ks. We have Sanji. I did Koza, although he could be replaced with a lot of different other 2Ks, particularly ones that are Straw Hats, so they'd be searchable still off of Vivi here. Maybe the Brook. This one is one that I used to pretty good effect when I was playing it, because it effectively is a 4-cost 5,000 rush with a 2K counter, with the leader ability here, making it pretty good as an alternative to Koza here. Then the other 2K I went with is Terracotta. Another reason why you would want to keep your top end as Alabasta. Here we have Chaka and Pell, and then we have our Nami as kind of our main targets we would target with this Terracotta. Moving on to Searchers, obviously we have the Vivi here. The core of the deck is built around these Vivis here. Using these Vivis to play out Nami or to play out Chaka Pell is just a good way to kind of fill out the mid game, using your leader ability to keep your hand healthy, and using a lot of events and a couple blockers to make it to that end game. Once you get to the end game, you want to be playing stuff down like Rayleigh, and I have a single Shanks and a single Roger here to go with the Chaka Pells. And you want to, for as long as possible, not attack your opponent's leader, draining their cards out of their life and swinging at their characters for as long as possible. And then once they're really low on cards, then you can start swinging with this double attack and really quickly try to end the game using these events to stay healthy in the meantime. One of the things that's really nice is if you play out Vivi and play out Chaka Pell, you end up with +1 card in hand off of that interaction. Their opponent is down 1, and if you're at 10 Dawn, you end up with the ability to play out your 1-drop event, still giving you some good defense to go with all of that. Nami here is really great at dealing with cards in the mid game, letting you get good swings at them and keep them low. Again, though, I would probably recommend switching to the other leader for this particular deck list. Unfortunately, this leader has just been power crept out sufficiently to where its advantages over the other leader are pretty minimal, just because most of the stuff that you want to use nowadays doesn't have the win attacking abilities. This does end up playing differently than Red Sanji, who ends up being a similar style of deck, but because you get to play on plays, whereas that Sanji does not, it makes for an interesting kind of split between the two. Whereas Sanji is very offensive, this deck can be more defensive, kind of waiting until the end game to finish the game with these characters who can finish really quickly after you have several of them on the board. You just have to be at a healthy enough life total and have enough events to where you just can sit back behind your bodies and just clear them out over like 2 turns with your big bodies. So that's kind of the deck list. Next week we will be going over, let's see, it would be green, purple Doflamingo, I think, is next week. That is the green deck from the set. So going to Dressrosa and checking out those cards. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that, and I will see you guys then. Bye.